still, I had to clarify one final change, and Reg showed me what you recommended and what we agreed on. It's just a matter, we're just going to flip the order so that they'll be fine, and then they're ready to go. So is there any...
The only error is section 4.5, the wording was from Reg's email, and you have Reg's email, and I can have a copy of it. So.
Okay. I can give this to you for now, but I have to have it back because that's the part that's right there. Reg, do you have a copy of your email?
No.
No? Okay.
I do on my computer at home.
Yeah, I mean, you probably have this. Can you just email it to me?
No, I can't.
Oh, you just printed it and deleted it?
Well, printed it and put it in a file. It's easier for you to just...
Okay, I'll just take that.
Maybe I'll just take it and write it out. Okay. Is there any other questions, concerns, or comments about the board meeting minutes from May 21st, 2014? Jamie?
I just wanted on the record that the minutes that we received were inaccurate and incomplete.
Minutes? The board meeting
was it split into two, Reg, or was it all together?
Right,
the minutes, was it split into two, or is it all?
Into two.
Okay, so I'll wait till the next...
So, all in favor of the board meeting minutes then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You okay, Jamie?
I'm abstaining.
So we're still good, they passed them. Okay, so moving on to the regular meeting minutes. Just to clarify, in these minutes, it is noted that Connie will be reporting. Did you?
Yes, I'm Carol.
Oh, sorry.
And I did, yes.
Carol? Okay, so, and that's the only recording that's going on?
No, I'm recording.
No, I am too. Okay, then I thought it was just the secretary, but anyway.
I feel left out. I should have a recorder.
Can you turn the camera so that it's not facing me, please?
No. It's an open meeting. I'm not being disrespectful. It's an open meeting. The minutes recorded gross inaccuracies, and I want this on the record. You just sent out the minutes to the whole membership with gross inaccuracies. You slurred myself. I think you slurred Reg. I think you're out of order in sending those minutes the way they were. Also, I think you were out of order by bringing into an open general meeting information and issues that happened at a board meeting, which is supposed to be closed and not open. So if you're going to release minutes that are inaccurate, I have to protect accuracy. Nothing personal.
Can you list the points that are inaccurate?
Well, for instance, I believe in your minutes you said girly. Mm-hmm. The quote was girlish, not girly. Okay. There is a big difference between the two.
Okay, so let's just make that.
Reg had, I think you had some examples of mittenses that weren't in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that it's difficult to encapsulate that entire conversation we had. But, for instance, whenever Kim said that I raised my concern about the leadership style of the current executive, and my reply was that I questioned the action of the members of my committee, not the executive committee. So, you know, there were a few things like that that was bantered about, and there, you know, I find the context there was sort of a little slanted, and I know a lot of it was missing. A lot of the conversation during it was difficult to encapsulate it all.
You don't find any truth in any of those comments?
No, I said there were comments that were missing.
Such as?
Well, as I just said, you know, my reply to your comment about how I was concerned about the leadership style, and that wasn't what I said. I mean, you said that, and then my reply was, no, I questioned the action of the members of my committee.
Okay, so it can be corrected. Of course.
I also would request that another email be sent out with the correction and an apology, because I feel that what was sent out was a slur against myself and Reg.
Okay, Jamie.
Thank you.
I have to ask you one question since we're on the record.
Sure.
Your girlish or girly comment about our style, would you have said that if it was a male executive?
I might have, actually, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't consider that a sexist comment, and I'm perfectly comfortable in my
Very good.
commitment to equal rights for all genders and isms.
Okay. You've answered. Any other comments?
Well, I did also state that I think that Donna and yourself were out of order for bringing executive meeting information into an open meeting. It sort of defeats the purpose of having an executive meeting with closed information and then bringing it out into an open meeting, because you don't know who's at an open meeting, members, non-members, media.
I didn't realize that in the minutes, I didn't realize that it was going to, because we asked for approval of the minutes, right? And there was changes in the minutes of the regular meeting.
Again, what was brought up in discussion at the last meeting was brought up in the general section of the meeting. And what was brought up in the general section of the meeting was stuff that occurred in the privacy of a board meeting. And this is how things get leaked, because of these misunderstandings or I didn't knows or stuff like that. I'm not trying to pick on anyone individually, and I know not everybody understands how certain things go, but this is how things evolve. And the point is, in this case, it was out of order. It should not have been discussed in an open meeting.
I have that in the minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what specific point are you referring to?
The content of the general meeting, when we were discussing it, of issues that were discussed in the board meeting. I don't have notes in front of me, so I can't give you a direct quote at the moment, but there was several issues discussed. Reg, maybe you can fill that one a little bit better if we talked about it.
Which one?
What was discussed in the board meeting that was discussed in the open meeting? And Donna, just for the record, so you know, because I don't want you to feel that you were being ambushed, I haven't moved the camera, but you're still in frame. I know you moved your seat.
Yeah, I'm really uncomfortable with that camera being on, Jamie.
I can't.
I'd like to put a motion that we...
I don't want the camera on.
I second that motion.
It's not in our charter, and unfortunately...
It's a motion that's on the floor. Jamie, can I just, you second the motion? You get that?
Yeah.
So there's a motion on the floor that, yeah, you know what? That,
I didn't come here to get rid of it.
no, me either.
Well, I didn't like the fact that those minutes were sent out inaccurately to all of our membership.
Maybe we should have a motion to adjourn.
Are you making a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second for that motion?
I'll stay if the camera's off, but yes.
Okay, so let's deal with the motion. Do we still have quorum, Reg?
There was 5 people.
Yeah, there's 6.
Minimum of 5, yeah.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is the request to turn off the camera. And
But keep the mic from whoever has the mics. Very good,
Well,
sir.
it was passed in the minutes that it was supposed to be with the secretary for the,
It's an open meeting.
But it's recorded in, it was a motion that was
It's not
approved
in
by
our
the Board of
charter.
Directors. It was a motion that was approved by the Board of Directors, Jamie.
Donna, just
Reg,
adjourn the meeting. If you can't handle the truth, if you're afraid to have your words recorded,
Reg,
adjourn the
point of
meeting.
having a meeting and passing motions if we're not going to abide by them.
If the motion was approved.
Well, we have a charter, and there's bylaws to follow. It's that
Okay,
simple.
can I just ask Reg the question,
Sure.
please? Reg, the motion was that only the secretary would record and for her purposes only, and it was approved and passed at the last meeting. So
Does it stand?
Wasn't that just for the executive meetings?
No.
It was for the purpose of minutes, to write minutes.
I'm not sure with that. The motion, would that not have to be a bylaw? Because generally, open meetings are open.
And we're not saying that they're closed. We're saying that the minute, the motion was made by the Board of Directors that the minutes be recorded for by the secretary for the purpose of minutes only. And that was the motion that was passed by the board.
Who wrote the minutes that were just distributed?
I did.
Okay, you're the secretary?
I am.
Okay, the minutes that were just distributed by the secretary, as per that have been proven to be inaccurate and slurred myself and to a degree Reg.
Jamie, there was a motion on the floor that was passed by the Board of Directors.
I feel that I wrote those minutes per wording by you. If I missed a sentence, maybe I did, but the words that I did put in here are words that you used.
I didn't use the word girly. We've already established that one example. And because of the fact that there was no recording that I have access to, I don't have a 100% bulletproof memory, so that's why I'm recording, to protect myself from being slurred in this manner publicly.
I'm calling for a vote then, because the motion on the table is that we turn off all recording other than what is being done for the secretary. That motion is on the floor.
I'm in favor.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Are you refusing to shut you in?
Absolutely, there's nothing in our charter, and also there's no penalty in the motion or the bylaw. Oh, it's not a bylaw, it's a...
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn if I'm allowed to do that.
Of course you are.
Is there a seconder for that motion? Questions, concerns, or comments about the adjournment? Motion to adjourn?
Yeah, comment. We didn't get to cover off the AGM, and we don't have a July meeting, so should we be moving the AGM?
Don't we have to deal with the motion before we go into other business?
That's a comment.
Okay.
Any other questions, concerns, or comments?
Or are we okay to leave it like this and take July off and go to the AGM this way?
Your thoughts, Reg?
Well, I thought we had already established the AGM,
We established the date for the
the
AGM.
date for the AGM. Yeah.
We just have no meeting before that now.
Yeah.
And
No procedure.
And it
no
would have to
procedure.
be operated according to the old bylaws.
So the motion on the floor is to adjourn the meeting. We have a second.
Sorry to interrupt. We still haven't addressed the issue of being out of order. The minutes?
Well, it's hard to address the minutes whenever we have a motion on the floor that has to be addressed as well.
The issue of the minutes was brought up before the motion for the camera or for the adjournment.
The original motion was to accept the minutes, and that was what the discussion was about.
Then leave them unacceptable.
Okay, so we leave the minutes unaccepted then?
There'll be no cooperation at our meetings, so we might as well adjourn.
So
Okay, so the motion was for to accept the minutes was
Declined. I guess
declined?
declined, because we're at odds.
So, good point, Rich, thank you. So we'll call for a vote to accept the minutes. And we can accept the minutes as presented. Are you making that motion? Well, there has to be a motion on the floor to accept the minutes, and then that has to be declined or accepted.
Yeah.
So I'm looking
So we-
for a motion on the floor to accept the minutes as presented.
I think we have two corrections we want to make. Girly versus girlish.
Okay, good one.
And then his statement should be included. So I would say we don't want to accept until that's in there.
Okay.
It was also asked for an apology.
Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, sorry, Jamie.
No, I mean in the minutes that's
Well,
emailed
now-
to the
now
members.
the minutes will reflect that we said, sorry, Jamie.
As long as it's sent to the members.
Okay, so, Reg, motion on the floor is to accept the bylaw, the minutes as amended.
As amended.
Jamie, you're so annoying.
They'll have to go before the next meeting.
So they'll go before the next meeting then?
Yeah, we decline minutes at this point.
Mhm.
Okay. Reg, how do we proceed?
Well, if the motion is to accept the minutes, and we vote on it, And if it's accepted, then we move on. If it's declined, we moved on. So do we deal with the first motion?
Okay.
So the minutes, do we accept them?
Accept them, do you want the motion to say as amended? Or do you want the motion to just say, accept the minutes?
Well, I believe at this point, we just decline the minutes right now and come back at the next meeting and accept or reject them once the amendments are made.